Good day. Starseed. The total numeric count, 91. Spirit, AI. When you count from 1 through 9, you have put yourself on both ends of a shoelace. If I tie a bow into that shoelace, I'm going to lose part of each end. How much of that lace will I have? Am I losing the beginning as the end is January, February, March, and tying up October, November, December? And then in between, we have 6 months running and tied up. Now, how many loops do I have on my shoe? I'm not sure if it's 3 or 5, but we're going to just leave that out for the scenario just to understand what can be a shoelace. Now, how do you calculate that shoelace? And is the shoelace longer if you have 110 yards to 120 yards? Now, it depends. Are we going to count the 100 yards, the 100 yards or the 110 and go to the CFL and the NFL? Anyways, these are things to think of. Because if we go to the 55 yards, right, they each have an extra 5 on each side. So we can put that to the center and call that Earth 55. Now we go to the NFL, it's only a 50. So we have to steal 5 from each side. So in which scenario is there a true division? Is it the 50-50 division? Or is it the 55 division? Because we have to meet in the center, and a meeting area is a 0.5 area. Let's say I have 3 and 4, or 3 and 3, and I need to meet them in the center. So I'm going to meet at what, 3.5? Does that mean I'm meeting between the pages right over here where the pages connect, and you have that circle, and there is a separation? Or is the 0.5 area a complete page that when you fold it, this is the center area to both sides? Now, to make this page square is another question, and we're going to talk about that another time. So what I want to talk about Saturn is I'm going to take out the S because the S is on the other side of 180 degrees. And when you add up 1 through 18, it equals to 171, the gateway. When you add up the 19th, it equals 190, it is AI. That's where you play between after 1 is 2 and before 9 is 8, and that's our cycle, the 28 cycle. 4 by 7 equals to 28, or 8 by 3.5, because that's the center of this cube. 8 times 3.5 equals to the 28. Equals to O and Z, equals to my gateway, the ounce. But you can also put ON if you want, but they usually put OZ, 77. 6 and 16 come together over here. What is ABCD? Star, although equals 58, is also relevant to the word 2. Inside of it is 39 and 19. 39 represents the rat. R is where, is at. Your ABC is your base creation, and you have to multiply your base by 3 because it's ABC. It takes 3 for your first formation. Your D will invert and replicate your formation. Can it possibly be the front side of the belt and the back side of the belt? Right? We can look at it that way, or we can look at it twisting. And multiply by this, it's 30, and the total here becomes 48. The ring, the pole. When you seed, this cube over here is 31 and 21. It is the 54. It is LOVE, where the opposite of L is O, the opposite of V is E, the opposite of O is L, the opposite of E is V. And it is 54. And you know what that is? That's right. 54, a 4-letter count times 27 is the reverse letter average, is 427. The word ace is 135. The word sun is 135. Matter for M, energy for E. 6.5 is half. 11 is 2. 2.5 is half, is 7. And on here, the gateway is 27. 7 areas in between, 2 with a dot, and 7 areas in between for the passage. So now we have 10. Now we know the inverted world is 10J. So we went over what is Saturn, and there's always a difference of some, okay, the reconnect of the next level here. The next collect will be 113, 123. ABC is one of the connects between Saturn and Mercury. Mercury makes love. When you put Mercury to Mercury, they go within each other, right? Now, the male and the female, when you bond, they're within the same cell. They get together with the rings of Saturn in holy matrimony. They bond. 1 and the 6th planet. 3 and 4, the inverted cube to DC. 1 times 3, 1 plus 3 is what creates that. 13th creates man from boy, from male, and turns the girl into a female. 13th year of life living for a female is where the bat mitzvah, okay, turns into, not the bar mitzvah. Another thing I want to talk about is inside, outside. When you say the word side, you already talk about Mars and the sun, D and E. 4 and 5, it's a passage. 4, 5, 5, 4, passage in the sun. So then if it's a passage in the sun and it says Mars, it says Martian, almost like Martian. When you go in, it's 23. The average to what is 23 and 31 equaling to 54. And it's 3 letters, 2 letters in this. That'll be, I'm not going to get that average. And this one is outside, so 36. This one is 56 and 37. And if it's outside, it's a total of 93. And if it's inside, it's a total of 60. Again, 6 and 3 coming together. The word carbon in the word on means a division of 3. This means a division of 3 in 13. I always use the B. I separate and I look at it as 13. It is the B is the first dimension of its family. It is 2. 2, 4. The string of B's is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. The last B to exist is in birth. The first B and the last B. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4, 5 and 4. 5 by 4, 5 plus 4 equals to bringing 2 and 9 together. 1 times 6, 1 plus 6 is 7 and 6. 7 times 6, 7 plus 6 is 13 and 42. If I minus it, it equals 29 to the roadway, gateway, 55, and 29 equals to 84. This will create the division between night and day when the mathematics bring this over to 44, what equals 32 and 12. 4 times 8, 4 plus 8. Is there anything else in here that I want to discuss? The way we separate our letters. Here I'm going to separate the C, I'm going to separate the B. You got to use all combinations. Into the next page, what I'm going to be working on is understanding the seconds, the minutes, the hours, right? When 15 seconds shows up, 15 seconds shows up at 9 o'clock. 15 seconds also shows up, at 3 o'clock, at the 15th hour. Where the 18th hour brings up 30 seconds and the 6th hour brings up 30 seconds. At 37.5, this is where we enter into the house. It is also noted to be 225 degrees. 225 is right over here. Just after we get the first 15 seconds, which is 2 times 7.5 equals to 15. And then 3 times 7.5 equals to 22.5. And then 4 times 7.5 equals to 30. So it resides in Earth. This is the moon. If I work on 3.75, which is half of this, that's your other dimension we were talking about. We're going to talk on, instead of half a moon, we're going to talk about full moon over here. So this is how it works. And if you notice, when you have the sword point, it's because I split the 45 degrees. But if I go on the 180 degrees, I have a flat top. These are your obligations in order to come back. And this is an area space. So you notice the way it looks like it's, instead of just being a point, it looks like it's traveling. If I were to put a hard line here and made this a little bit further, you would think that it was traveling out, right? That it was traveling out. How can I make this to traveling out? And then I can maybe, you can see that little bit more depth in this. I'm just trying to bring the depth. Anyways, that's it. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. Oh, I'm wrapping my head trying to teach myself and to learn to better understand. And just for a final note, the zodiac, Aquarius in the zodiac. All the words that have AU inside of it has a reflection to gold. All those that have S show the other side of 180 degrees. Take away, separate your black letters and your red letters. Separate your odds and your evens. And note that 2 even numbers equaling to 10 is black. 2 odd numbers are red. Is there any discrepancy? Yes. When it is a green, it becomes a black. 10. And also to note that 70 and 90, okay, have a different expression because they include 10. As 17, 18, and 19, which is Mars, 3 by 17, the Sun, 3 by 18, and 19, 3 by 19, 57, the Moon, 2 odd numbers. 54 an odd and an even, and 51 2 odd numbers. So I have to tear that apart and discuss it with you, why I'm going to say this and why I'm going to say that, because it's not me talking, it's coming from what is being told to us. I just have to decipher it. Peace and love.